All right, let's try it again. And if it don't work, we're just gonna go with the one that we're using on Facebook. I mean on YouTube, and I'll just share the YouTube link. This is weird. It's not cooperating. There we are. Okay, now it is. All right. Let's just say. Okay. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. In my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, shall go. I will go, shall go. I will go, shall go. To see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. In my heart to enter, won't turn. I will go, shall go. I will go, shall go. Shall go. To see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. To enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, shall go. I will go, shall go. To see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. To see what my life, to see what my life
gonna be. Yeah. Show me and show me to see what. See what my life. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? My life. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? My life. What my life is gonna be. What my life is gonna be. To see what my life is going to be. See what my life is going to be.
Kemaat, I bet. Kemaat, Sashat, how are you this morning?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Good. Never. The sun's shining. I know that heat is beaming out there, but hey, Ra rises.
Yes, indeed.
Along with Ra comes the heat.
Most definitely.
I'm excited about today's session, inspired once again by you. You know, I'd like to look at this as like an open mic type of situation. You know, those of us who indulge in spoken word and poetry and open mic, this is going to be an open mic form of adoration. So when the time comes, we will put the link on the screen for anyone who would like to join and come in and give some words. But before we get into that, if you would like to start with the opening reflection, and we'll get started.
Yes. Dua to the Dwa R Hrw, dua to our ancestors, and and to all who gathered here with us today in this sacred circle. Today we gather in a unique way, in a unique spirit of fellowship and communal devotion. Throughout our tradition, adoration has never belonged to one voice alone. The Dwa R Hrw hear the prayers of the elders, the young, the words of the priest and the priestess, the mother, the father, the grandparent, the child, the seeker. Every sincere voice has value, and every heart has something to offer. Ashanti Ashe. Today, we open the sacred space to the community. Rather than hearing adoration from only one person, we invite the voices of our comedic family to rise together. Some may offer words from a sacred text. Some may offer a prayer. Some may offer a personal reflection. Some may simply speak words of gratitude. All offerings given sincerely and in alignment with Ma'at are welcome today. Today is an opportunity to remember that adoration is not a performance. It is an offering. It is a gift of the heart. May every voice be heard. May every participant leave feeling uplifted and strengthened.
Dua. And without further ado, we're going to give honor to the Dwa R Hrw and honor to the Aku. Honor to those who gathered in truth and sincerity. May this way be open before us. May every obstacle be removed. And may our hearts be united in adoration. May our words today be truthful, today and every day. May our intentions be pure. And may our gathering be blessed with harmony and fellowship. So without further ado, we are going to play a video of the opening of the way. And just for all of you all who wonder why we play the videos instead of doing it, we actually do it with the videos. We do know the opening of the way, but I love to share the videos of the days of the past that just kind of reminds us of where we came from as the opening of the way have been brought to us. So without further ado, I'm going to be playing the opening of the way once again, a video.
Anetrak unbet het, Nuke unbet het.
Anetrak happy.
Nuke happy, Twa unter. Anetrak serket. Nuk serket.
Anetrak kebsenuf.
Nuk kebsenuf. Twau inter. Anetrak ast. Nuk ast.
Anetrak amset.
Nuk amset. Twau inter. Anetrak neat. Nuk neat.
Anetrak dwamutef.
Nuk dwamutef. Twau inter. Anetrak newt. Nuk newt.
Anetrak geb.
Nuk geb. Twau inter.
Anetrak shoe.
Nuk shoe. 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 Anetrak tefnut. Nuk tefnut. 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 Nuk tefnut.
Tefnut.
Anetrak pau interu. Nuk pau interu. Anetrak unbu interu. Nuk unbu interu. Twau inter. Twau inter.
So we just did the opening of the way. We did it a little bit unusually because we would normally stay immediately next to each other and simply turn so that you're always on the left and I'm always on the right.
Yeah.
Dua for that. Opening of the way. All right. All right. And with the opening of the way, we always, before we proceed, we always want to pause to honor the memory and legacy of our beloved elder ancestor, Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samaj Sepata, the opener of the way, the bearer of Ma'at, custodian of the Ankh. We give thanks for his service. We give thanks for his teachings. We give thanks for his unwavering dedication to Ma'at and the spiritual upliftment of the community. Though he has transitioned from the physical form, his example continues to inspire us. And may we carry forward the principles that he embodied. May we honor his memory through right actions, sincere devotion, fellowship, and service to others, just as he did. May his name always, as long as we live and those that come after us, continue to be spoken. And may his legacy continue to bear fruit. May he continue to be remembered as the blessed and among the blessed Aku. Dua and Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samad Sepatan. For that, I light the candle for him. In memory of his legacy. Dua Natar.
Wow, that's her. Wow. Now, you guys know next we do the giving of the flowers. Today, we offer flowers in honor of every sincere voice raised in adoration. We offer flowers for the wisdom of our elders. We offer flowers for the passion of our youth. We offer flowers to those who speak often. We also offer flowers for those who are finding the courage to speak for the very first time. May every offering be accepted in beauty and in truth. Dua.
Dua. All right. And as we get started, more so, we have started, but as we get into today's adoration, we're going to set the feather with our 4 breaths today of sacred expression. So our breaths today, we're going to breathe in truth. We're going to breathe in courage. We're going to breathe in gratitude. We're going to breathe in ma'at and exhale fear. So let's now take our breaths. Gratitude. Dwa R Hrw. As we breathe together and prepare our hearts to speak sincerely and listen respectfully, the last one here on our 4 breaths where it says breathe in ma'at and exhale fear, I can say that I've always been one not to like to be the center of attention or on screen. This is still getting used to being the face on this screen. Public speaking, it's not a fear for me. It's just not my forte. I've never been one to want to be seen. I like to be the ghostwriter, in the backgrounds and doing the work and things like that. So for those of you who have a voice, we all have a voice. Everyone has a voice. But sometimes we struggle with how it's heard or getting that out there or being able to express what we're feeling and what we're thinking and the things that we want to say. So I do want to assure you all that being one of those folks myself, that you all have a voice and this space is safe for you to be able to use it. So if you do come today, you don't have to have right words and it doesn't have to be flowery and you don't have to speak in a manner that's what some would think is proper. Just be yourself, be comfortable and be understanding that we receive you just as you are. You don't have to wear a costume here with us. You can just be yourself, be comfortable, and be safe knowing that we will hold you just the way you are. So the feather of Ma'at reminds us that every voice carries value when aligned with truth.
Dwa R. Today, the adoration belongs to the community. Every Sunday it belongs to the community, right? But today, maybe a little more so than others, as we open up the sacred space for voices of adoration. So versus hearing myself or Shankar or some we have or the other that we have on the screen, everyone that comes in on a regular basis, this is your space to come in and give your adoration. Like we said earlier, if you're doing a prayer, you want to read something from the text. You want to give praise to the Dwa R Hrw, passages from the sacred text, personal prayers, words of gratitude, reflections on ma'at, any other adorations offered from the heart. This space is now open for you to do so. This is not a requirement for someone to be a teacher. There's no requirement for someone to be a priest or a priestess. Only sincerity is required. Sincerity, open heart, a true heart. Come in harmony and balance with ma'at.
All right. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and place the link here on the screen. For those of you who would like to come on screen, we will give time. In the meantime, we'll move through the phases as if we get anyone that would like to come on. In fact, I'll take a look at Facebook to see if we have anyone there. Those of you watching on YouTube, you'll be able to also join with that link. Let's see.
And the link is actually in the chat as well.
I will put it in the chat. I'll do both. So let's see.
Just click on it.
Okay. I'll actually put it right on the page. Let's see if I can actually go to the live and put it there as well that way. Because putting it on the page, that's true. You have to type it in, right? Let's see. All right. And wonder if I can also do that on YouTube. Yep, should be able to. All right, so the link has been posted. Let's see. Got some comments. That's me posting there. All right, let's see if there's anyone. Uncle Maatson Curtis, Uncle Maatson Atan, Uncle Maatson Garrett. I have shared the link. We have shared the link. See if I can't put it over there as well. Anyone that would like to come on and provide adoration, this space is now open for you all. And while we are waiting to see if anyone would like to join, is there a word of praise or adoration that you may have today? Perhaps we could start with ourselves.
Okay. And praise. I give adoration and praise to I'm trying to figure out. I don't say to myself, but it's like I've been in a space of being able to. I give adoration and praise to the clearing of my mind, and I give gratitude for that. Being able to be in a creative space again and working on some things that the Most High has wanting me to do for a long time, and now I am actually in a space to be able to do them and free my mind to do them. So I am want to give praise for that.
Right. Dwa R Hrw. For myself, I would say I give praise for being calm. I will give praise for the, I guess, it's learned behavior. When you practice and you continue to practice and you continue to actually live in Ma'at, you embody Ma'at. And, there were times where, I would be in a frenzy for things, whether they seem small or big, I would just kind of not necessarily pop off, but I would allow my mind to be so cluttered with what am I going to do? What am I going to do about any given situation? And I give thanks, so much thanks for the Neteru and the lessons of some of the things that we've even learned in Seba'it, such as pause, the pause before, that moment means a lot. It has definitely, it becomes such a habit now that it's unthinkable. The pause before reaction, I definitely give honor to the pause before speaking, before reacting, before doing anything. That pause before the next move has been a very, very, very great energy to harness and to practice. So I give thanks to that and give honor to that, and continue to keep me paused in those moments where I may let my mind go all over the place.
Dua. They said St. Curtis and Jason and a time was on. You guys don't want to come up real quick, just pop up real fast, say a little something. They got to stay long.
I know it. Anyone, St. Curtis, you can come on through. Senaton, come on through. Then Garrett, come on through. It doesn't matter whether or not you've been here on screen before. It's simply this space today. Again, it's an open mic. You might even have a poem. You might even have a rhyme. It's not, there's no limits to what you can. And send James, I see you there, Anki Ma'at. That link is in the chat. Should you feel, you'd like to click on that link and come on up. Today, we're opening the space for any of you. We're here every Sunday, and just like Sinet Shasach said, this isn't just about one person or the two of us on screen and providing adoration in the themes. This is a space for you all. It's your space. We just manage it. We just open it, so that it's available. Today, we're giving that time for anyone who would like to come on and say anything, read a text, anything that's on your heart. You are free to do here. Anything aligned with truth, sincerity, and ma'at. Please click that link and join us. And come on. And if it's a quick minute or a long minute, country mile or short mile, So we're here to open it for you all today. We're always here speaking. You guys hear from us every week. So we would love to hear from you all. Anyone that's out there and willing. And you can come forward and offer praise to Ma'at, a prayer to the Neteru. Like she said, a reading from a sacred text, reflection on gratitude, remembrance of an ancestor that you might want to honor. We've got someone. We got Senatan. Senatan, we're going to bring you to the stage here.
Uncle Ma'at, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Uncle Ma'at.
Let me stop the YouTube so I don't have the. Okay. Bach and Furabet, how you guys feeling this morning?
Never.
Well, I'm not going to stay long. I'm trying to get myself ready to begin this Sunday morning, but I did want to come in, and I woke up early enough specifically so that I can be here and be a part of adoration. But just listening to you guys talk and being able to open the space up for everyone, I just wanted to come in and say a few words and give my portion for adoration this morning, not only for us, but for the whole shrine as well, and for the entire community. But one of the things I want to begin with is saying Dwa R Hrw for the ancestors, right? I want to thank the Neteru for the ancestors, because there's been so much going on, not only in my life the past few months, but I know there's been a lot of transitions and things happening, not only for us as individuals, but as an entire community, right? Like if we look at the way the nature of the world is right now, it's interesting because, like I said, we're going through things. I've seen shrine members go through things individually. We're going through things as a shrine, but not only that, as an entire community. The diaspora of African descendants are experiencing a really peculiar time right now. And one of the things that I would say is continue to look to the ancestors for answers and for direction and for support, right? Like I think that as we think about the things that we have to try to make sense of in our lives and try to figure out, it's important that we remember that there are millions of people who we are connected to who have experienced this life already. And it's important for us to draw back to them for their guidance and for their experience and things like that. We know that requires for us to do work, right? Like, so it's important that we continue to give praise and keep our ancestors in the forefront of our minds and continue to work with them to make sense of our everyday, daily lives. So I would say, with our praise, let us continue to work in our altars, continue to do the things that we know that's required of us in order to have that communication with the ancestors. I think that's going to be one important thing that will help us just to have a better understanding of not only what we're going through, but what has happened in the past and what we can look forward to in the future. So again, first and foremost, I want to give praise to the ancestors and their ability to be Ma Ruta and their ability to not only help us in this world, but also to do those things that are unseen that helps to drive us to the places that we need to be. Second, I really want to give praise to you guys, right? Like to the members of the Shrine of Mod that are continuously doing the things that need to be done to uphold the shrine and for us to have these spaces for us to continue our Kepra process. I think it's going not necessarily unnoticed, but we fly so much under the radar that people don't understand the things that are really going on in the Shrine of Mod, right? Like we know that we don't have a lot of public faces, right? But I think what's most important is that we focus on making sure, even if these conversations, that these things are insular, where we keep them, where there's always only a small group or thing like that. I think that we have to remember that it's the substance of what we do and the quality of what we do that makes a difference in our lives, right? So we don't have to have 100 people participating in this. We can have 5, but the substance and the meat of what we're getting to, I think is what's more important, right? We don't want to necessarily have spaces where people don't feel comfortable and aren't able to be themselves and aren't able to grow in this walk the way that they need to be. And so I just want to give praise to you guys for doing the things, and not only just you, but all the Shrine members who are continuing to work towards making sure that not only as an institution we continue to support one another, but as a family, right? Like as a family, I think one of the things that we forget, or some Shrine members may forget, right? Is that we are a family, right? Like, and I hold that dear to my heart, right? Like when we went through initiation and I was told that some of these people would be with me until the end, that I would be a part of these people's lives until some of my last days. I didn't know how significant that was until I began to develop relationships with members of the Shrine. And now I completely understand how that, regardless of the things that got us to this point, that we have become family for a reason, right? And nothing can change the things that we've encountered and went through together that have helped to strengthen the bonds that make us, family. And so I think that we need to keep that in mind as we move forward with the things that we are doing and the spaces that we want to create. We move forward in love for one another. We move forward knowing that as a community and as a group, that we can help each other in order to reach the goals that we need to reach, right? Like this walk is not something that I don't think can be done individually, right? Like, of course, it's a personal walk, right? Like this is it's about tuning inward in order to pull out the things that are already inside of you that help you to, make sense of this universe. But I think that as much as we want to say, "Oh, I did this," it takes a village, right? Like it takes a community, right? Like we can't, like it makes no sense to to not be able to use your talents and resources and gifts and things of that nature to help the community as a whole. And so just again, just by us coming together and being able to, commune with one another, we're able to understand different points of views and different ways of looking at things, which can help us in our own personal walk. And so I think, again, that we have to keep that in the forefront of our minds. I want to just say before I go again, there's so many things that's going on right now, not only in our personal lives, in the world, and in our shrine, but I want us to make sure that we stay grounded in our practices, the things that we need to do in order to stay in tune with the ancestors and the natural. And not only that, we have to make sure that we recognize that, again, we are a family working together in order to, help individuals, right? Like we're working together to help each one individually. And I think that's something that we have to remember, just to make sure that we are not taking for granted these spaces and these opportunities that we have to learn and to grow. And with that, I yield. That'll be my offering for adoration this morning.
Well, Dua for that, Senaton. Very, very well put together, very wise words. And like you said, we not just as a shrine, as an institution, we have developed family, And again, like you said, I hold that dear to my heart. I have developed family members not only in the shrine of Ma'at, but across this Kemetic community, and those relationships have become um, just as significant as family. It's been a great and wonderful, wonderful way to connect with other like minds, those that are on different parts of their journey, different aspects. Just like you said, everybody has a different talent, a different contribution, and all of those contributions provide one purpose for us to Ankh and Ma'at, which is the term that we all use. So, like you said, let's continue to stay grounded in our works and our practices, getting up into our altars, uh, making sure that you're reaching out to your committee across the board, your shrine members, as well as other Kemetic connections that you have that we've made across the country, in other words, because we've traveled and we've met people from different backgrounds and different different parts of their journey, and it's been wonderful. And I can't tell you enough how that's been very uplifting. And each of us that come to this way of life, a lot of us get here alone to realize that we're not alone. So, Dua for your words. And as we continue to do this weekly, and more things are coming uh, into play. And like you said, so much going on, not just in our individual lives, but in the world. We have to stay grounded in these days. There are a lot going on. We're seeing these things unfold before our eyes. We have marched. We have done so many things. We have boycotted as Black folks. Uh, it's a time that we've definitely got to regroup and do more than just march and do more than just boycott. We have to do more, and staying grounded, led by our ancestors who've gone through things even way worse, is going to be a key factor in us finding our way and navigating through these modern times.
Do I? It made me think of, as you guys are talking to, even maybe something to, not necessarily in this space, but overall, I don't know where, looking into, as Kemetic practitioners, how do we show up being in this Western world, right? With all this stuff that's going on, what do we do? What are our contributions? I've heard a lot of different things from some people across our community, whereas, as Kemetic practitioners, we don't really, I've heard one person say this, that we don't really, what's the word I want to say? Get involved or get involved in stuff that's happening in our communities, because if we elevate to a certain level, we're above that, we see beyond that, kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to have conversations to see where some of the other my Kemetic family, how they think of that, and how we should show up, and really maybe get into some study on what does that look like. We like Sankofa, you go back and get it. Maybe one of the things we need to go back and get is some understanding and how our ancestors moved, how our Kemetic ancestors moved in times like this. Were they involved? Was it a prayer thing? Was it a physical action thing? Like, how did they participate in that? So that would maybe help us to be a little bit more grounded and rooted in what it is we should do and how we should act at this particular time, the stuff that's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
And I think, Sinette, that's a good observation, right? Like, I think that may be a good idea for us to look at, again, like you said, how we can contribute to the betterment of the diaspora. And I can understand, like you said, where some people would say we've kind of elevated above that to, not necessarily focused on that, which is sort of a dilemma, right? Because I can understand someone saying, I understand on life, I understand reality at a certain level where it's delusion. And how do I make sense of what this, I'm not a delusion, but an illusion. And how do I make sense of what looks to be real, but is really an illusion? But I think what's important for us to remember is that anything that comes across our field, uh, anything that becomes a part of our reality is important for us individually, right? So if some of these things are a part of my reality, whether they're positive or negative, then the universe wants me to react or to learn a lesson from what's going on, right? And so I think in order for us to just say let's not do anything, I think wouldn't be the correct response, right? Like, because like, if we realize that there's something wrong, then we got to realize that there's something that maybe could be done about rectifying the situation as well. And as Kemetic practitioners, I think that, again, one of the important things that we can do is to continue to work in the backgrounds, right? Continue to do those spiritual things that we know help to add to the rectification of some of these situations, right? Like, again, like we said, continue to work in our altars, continue to call on the nexus that we need for these times. If we at war, we need to call on Sekhmet, we need to call on Mentu, whatever we need to do that we can add in order to get a better understanding and to kind of, like I say, rectify some of these situations. And it's something that we should definitely look more into, how we can, not only from a spiritual standpoint, because that's what we can do individually and as a group, but again, as an institution, what are some of the things that we can be doing to kind of help make sense of not only just the reality of our world as a whole, but like I say, for individuals, right? For those who are trying to make sense of what's going on, personally, there need to be spaces where they can come and get a better understanding of not only what's going on now, but what our ancestors went through as well, right? Like, we got to remember, like, it's a peculiar time out in America right now for African Americans. But we have to remember, we went through the George Floyd summer, right?
Yes, we did.
They didn't. People today don't remember the summer of 1919, the Red Summer, and things of that nature, right? So these are situations that, as a whole, we have been through before. Let's draw back to those ancestors, those freedom fighters, those people who made their way and made significant impact during those times, to understand how they were able to make sense and to get through some of the things that have happened. just speaking generally on current topics. But even if we look at the situation with Emmett Till, right, and how that deeply emotionally affected Black America during that time, right? How were our ancestors able to get through that as a whole and carry on forward? And I think that's some of the conversation that we can have, and then not only that, but learn from the things that our ancestors went through in order to make sense of where we are today. And so, again, man, I concur with you wholeheartedly. We have to look at ways that we can add to the betterment of our people using our talents and resources and things that we are familiar with, and by that being comedic spirituality, I think that again that's a conversation that we need to continue to have.
Absolutely.
to-
Absolutely. Well, Dua for coming on. Dua for coming on. I got St. Curtis coming up, so we'll bring him up for his to see what he has to share with us today, and Dua Sinatan. And yes, that's a topic that we can go into further discussion, and to continue having those conversations.
And for our
All right.
scholars out there, maybe even looking, for our scholars that are here now, that'll watch this playback, you know, um, help us, get with some information. If it's just to put it in the chat, some information that you may know of how, as comedic practitioners in the past, how they have moved in these type of situations. So we can have some text to go along with what we're discussing. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. All right. St. Curtis, how are you? Uncle Ma'at?
Yeah, Uncle Ma'at Abed, Uncle Ma'at Sinet Shinka, Uncle Ma'at Sinet Ma'at. How do I'm struggling to
Just
say.
shot. Just shot
Right?
on
Yes, the Shan Ma'at. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to come on, and grateful to hear Senaton's message as well. I just want to share a brief reading from Spirituality Before Religions that really resonated with me, and for this morning for adoration. And this is on page 190 if anybody has that book. Um, and it says this Ma'atian lifestyle will provide the human with higher order thinking skills that evolve into the greatest great, which is cosmic consciousness. If a person is able to achieve the greatest great in life, it is expected that they will be able to live this way in the next world. If the deceased lived a Ma'atian life, he or she is considered to have retrieved his or her head in life because they were able to get it back after it had been taken from them when they were born. He was able to come to the realization that he is the creator having a human experience. And I want to read that sentence again. He or she was able to come to the realization that she or he is the creator having a human experience. So this chapter asks the creator to allow them to keep their head, their consciousness in the next world. And as Senaton was sharing and you all were talking, I was looking for some type of reading that kind of reflected like one of the reasons why the way of my art, our way of living, why I feel I was called or guided to it. And I think about this whole transition from the womb to the tomb and losing my head in many ways, caught up, being miseducated, not just about how to live, but who I am, what I am, why am I here? And I am grateful to all of our ancestors that left the message and the way to live and who we are. Know thyself in stone, in papyri, even at a time where their particular culture or way of life was may have been totally different from what we're living in today, but the way to live was timeless because of who we are. Perfect reflections of the creator experiencing itself in us. And so there's many concepts that this culture imposed that I disagree with. I believe each and every one of us are perfect. Perfect vision of the creator, perfect expression of the creator's vision. And I believe I was born into a culture designed to make me sick, to make me fall short of the perfection that I am. And that the challenge was to find that way of life to help me attune, to help me harmonize, to help me raise my consciousness to the heights of which sacred and divine deities can guide and work through me now, that I can walk and reflect that and share that with others. And so that's what I love about that reading and what it's saying, and why I'm grateful again for the Shrine of Ma'at. I'm grateful for many of the other Kemetic houses and Sebas and teachers that have come across my path, because what I've slowly discovered since being initiated is there's no one Kemetic house today that has the whole picture.
That's right.
And I don't take any priest or priestess and put them on any pedestal, because I know that they're going through the exact same process of regaining their head.
Mhm.
And they're going through the exact same challenges, whether it's about finances, relationships, health issues. They're going through the exact same challenge that we're all going through today. And we have to try to keep our head and remember who we are and the greater purpose that we all have, to each one teach one, and hopefully teach those that haven't lost their head, that don't know yet, whether they're older, middle-aged, or younger, you know? And I think that is the greatest purpose that, I can strive to achieve while I'm passing through, to try to balance my scales so when it's my time to be judged, that my heart will hopefully be lighter than that feather. Because I didn't find this way of life until I was 60. I was in 2022, I was 62. So I'm an ex drug dealer, felon, recovering alcoholic and addict. And I was peddling poison, destroying our people and our families. So I got a lot of work to do to try to balance those scales. But it's the daily rituals behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, the discipline to our shadow work, our Kepra process, our altar work, our prayer, the meditation, the studying. It's those things behind closed doors and how I live this outside of the platforms. It's how I live this that the real work is done, you know. So I'm grateful for our ancestors that recorded this in stone and papyri, and for those of us that have picked it up and have revived it for these current um, conditions and culture that we live in today. And um, I think with that, maybe the only other thing I would like to add is that I have been a chemical dependency counselor. I have worked as I was an executive director of a community action agency that worked in the war against poverty. I've been a social worker. Um, and what I've come to find out about the system is the system is designed to make people sick.
Mm-hmm.
And they never give the helping or social service networks enough finances to win the war against all of the conditions that they create. And I actually view the political aspect and the political arena the same way. And I don't believe working through the system to change a sick system. I just don't have much belief in that. I don't believe the system is open to changing and correcting itself. I have to survive in this system and
Absolutely.
keep my head,
Absolutely.
you know. And that's why I think the best work we ever do will be outside of the system,
Mm-hmm.
individually with each other, whether we all become priests and start our own shrines or not. But whether it starts as simple as with what we do, what we model, our children or family, who's willing to listen and give an ear. I bought in so many books and given them away. It's unbelievable. You know,
But you
and
know what that means?
that's why I try to do my part to help others
That's right.
regain their head so they
But
can walk through this thing
that's
and
exactly what you're doing. You're
be
repeating.
prepared
That's
for
right.
a transition,
And
you know.
notice that you said that you're
So
thankful
that's my offer of adoration for today to all of us.
Dua.
Uncle Mott.
Oh, St. Curtis, you said that you are, you're thankful for the papyri that was left behind, and you are able to pick it up and to continue what your ancestors left. You're doing that now. And by us doing those things, that by you giving a book to someone, by you coming and you giving praise and those things that you're doing now, we may not have papyri, but this is our papyri. We are leaving our work in stone. And because we were able to gain our head, so to speak, through this walk, naturally willing, you'll be able to keep your head. And perhaps the work that you're doing will allow another to gain their head while they're here. Just as the papyri did for you and the ancients did for you, what they left behind, you too shall leave behind for another to pick up and to be able to get their head and to take that with them as well. So just continue. I encourage you to continue. And like you said, it's the things that we do that are unseen outside of platforms when the door is closed and no one is looking. That's where the work is critical. So just continue to keep doing that and keep in your head, as you said. That's where the work is critical. So just continue to keep doing that and keep in your head. All right. We have another member here that's going to do out to you, St. Curtis, and thank you for coming on and providing adoration. So, anything to add to that?
No.
All right.
You are St. Curtis. Good to see you.
Do out to you, St. Curtis, and thank you for coming on and providing adoration. All right, we're going to bring St. Garrett Van onto stage. Look at that. Uncle Ma'at.
Akimad, everyone. Akimad. um, I'm just thankful for, well, first and foremost, I always give praise and adoration to the work that's being done on weekly with this program and this session, and the power it admits, uh, and the life-changing things that are uttered and discussed, the stabilizing, um, uh, the stabilizing thoughts and encouragement, and for everyone to share their experiences and to still do this in light of the things that you're challenged with, it's always amazing, um, and powerful. For you're not dismissing your own personal challenges, but you're realizing the bigger picture of what's needed, and that responsibility, and that's not always easy, and I know. And but I would just want to give praise and thanks to the ancestors and to Mother, Father, Creator, and for this time, which can be a difficult a time for myself, because this is the month that my mother transitioned, and but at the same time, it was the same week that our youngest daughter was born. So, and she was supposed to come see her that Friday, when she unfortunately experienced an aneurysm, and but she extended her days to the point to where we could celebrate her birthday, which was around June 19th. And so I want to give praise and thanks to, and for her to still be on that side. And I'm grateful for that passage, um, in the in him in Dwa R Hrw, that talks about that those that transition are not prohibited from coming from one side to the other, and they're more able now to assist us more than ever before. And of course, in the previous paradigm that I lived almost all my life, as a Pentecostal kid, I grew up, that you just didn't. That's just something you didn't do. We don't talk to the dead, which was always interesting to me, because if we know that energy never dies, have they truly died? Is really the essence of that understanding to me, that we give more deference to the core that they were in, opposed to who they really were in spirit and in soul, and that um and I think with that enlightening, with coming over to Kemetic spirituality and being introduced to this way of understanding and truth, has just been has just removed a lot of the scales, and from my eyes of the religious mindset and so forth and so on, and dogma that has liberated me, and I'm still being liberated, because there's things that because I mean, it was, when did we make this transition? I was my early 40s, so that's over 40 years of stuff that I had to, got to share. And so, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this community. I'm thankful for each and every one that gets on here, and that shares their wisdom and shares their understanding of the Medunetza, and that shares their understanding of the way to pray and communicate. And to Sister Sashat, I love what you did last week in the prayer, and also the other sister that was on. I love what you all did last week, and just the prayer element and aspect, because sometimes when people, I hate to say it as if we're trading one spiritual paradigm for another, when we're coming out of one. And that's really not the case, because people are finding their truth and people are finding what resonates with them. And sometimes when you're coming from one posture to the other, you don't really know how to engage in those elements of such as prayer, because you kind of like, well, do I do it the way I used to do that? And I'm coming to find out that's part of that was your part too. You could still take those elements and use them in this sense. And to me, because what I've learned is that I feel a more assured connection with the Most High, because I'm able to acknowledge who they are in truth, not something that has been co-opted and has been created to give more importance to, like, the term Yahweh and all of that. I understand all of that now, to how that developed and where it comes from. So when we get back to source, then you're able to have that real connection, and then the responses that we get is authentic and it's powerful, and because you're connecting to what is true. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm truly grateful for that. And when you get in ruts, I still get in ruts, and you rely on the principles of the nectar, and those things work for you, even in the most inopportune times. They come through, and it's not like you're rolling the dice on something to happen. You're functioning in actual principle, and at least I can say this. I did take this from Christianity, that most people used to live their lives in when we lived in faith. You kind of lived your life based on you needing the miraculous to happen. But if you live your life in principle, you're not waiting for a miracle to happen. It's in this prescribed time when it will come through, because you're living life in principle. So I just wanted to get on here and just share that, and appreciative of the learning the opening of the way. That is one of the most beautiful ceremonies that I have ever witnessed, and I'm just so grateful. And I want to give you all's flowers and support, and to keep going. You got to forever watch it in me. I'm gonna always, when I can, I'm gonna always be here participating in daily adoration. So Dwa to you, my sisters, and thank you so much for what you
do. Yes, I did everything he said. What came to my brain, a couple things as he was speaking. One of them was like, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So we can always learn something from everything. And if we do believe that everything happens in its divine timing, how it's supposed to be, all of us who have on our spiritual journey has touched other belief systems on the way, all of that was for a reason, right? And we gleaned something from all of it, and understanding a lot of it's rooted in the same thing when you get down to the nitty gritty and wipe away all the other stuff, right? The wording is different and things of that nature, but it's all the same. And I can identify with you because I felt the same way for some years. I think I still am a little bit like, okay, I used to do this when I was, I was a Christian, and I'm a minister, and you do this and you're speaking in tongues, or you pray like this and you lay it on the hands of that. Like, okay, so now how do I approach it now? Do I completely just run away from that? And if I do that, does that mean I'm going backwards or what? But then coming to a space of understanding some of the gifts I have is the gifts I've had, no matter what belief system or culture I chose to walk in, right? If I speak in tongues, I speak in tongues. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If I was given the gift of healing, is wherever I go. It's not just because I was a Christian or, because now, I'm a comedic practitioner and I'm moving into certain spaces. It's you are who you are. And it's just how it comes out when it comes out, and then understanding that. So again, don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. You take what is necessary, and the rest that we do know that is, untruthful or not needed. You get rid of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
St. Garrickson, we have a brother, St. James, said, Beautiful hair.
Dwa, thank you.
Definitely. That hair
Hey,
is looking real good and healthy out there. You must be drinking plenty of water too, because it looks good.
and my daughter, you know, she's a cosmetologist, so she tells me, you know, if you're gonna wear it, you know, you got to keep it up. So, you know, they make sure I got the right stuff and products to keep my hair moisturized, especially out here in Arizona. It's hot and it can be the dry heat. And so, yeah, you know, it's work, but I feel with the it's part of who I am, and I'm learning to be as responsible and take care of that as well. So Dwa, thank you.
No problem. And Senator Ton said exactly, St. Gavin, do my art and live. That is correct. And what you were saying about, you know, coming from a principle, let's say principalistic, which is not necessarily a word, but I'm going to say that principalistic state of mind. Like you said, there was a time, you know, and other, loan me some of that hair from my sunroof. He said, loan him some hair for his sunroof. He keeps a bald head, so he said to loan him some of that. You know, like you were saying, you know, waiting for miracles. You know, it's a long time when we were in other ideologies or spiritual practices such as Christianity. We are waiting for an outside job, you know, outside miracle to fix the inside job. But as you said, standing on principles, these principles are unwavering because it doesn't require belief in an unseen faith. It's principle, it's systematic. And if you follow and stand on those principles and do the work, everything can come and happen in divine order, divine timing. And it would appear to be a miracle, but it's system of principles that you stand on, you know.
Yes, the principle of understanding that we are who we are, and when we speak it, it happens.
That's right. You're speaking it into, and your intentions are different. So when you pray, you're not praying for a miracle to happen. Even if you're praying for a situation to be resolved, and whatever it may be, a sickness, a job, whatever the case it may be. But just like she said, you are who you are. Your intentions become different when you're standing on principle, because you're not saying pennies from heaven fall. You're saying, this is what I need. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get what I need. And for someone looking on the outside, it may seem like a miracle, but it's the principle that you spoke into, that power that you spoke into your life, into your situation. St. Garrick, I do want to say one more thing before I forget, because I tend to get all over the place. Can you please say your mother's name, her full name?
Fannie Louise Dyson, or Van. Dyson is the maiden name. Van was her married name.
So everybody out there listening, including us here, let's speak her name, so that this is her birthday week, but so that she lives forever. She is the power to come in and out as she pleases and continue to guide St. Garrick in his physical form, as well as his children, her grandchildren, and all of those who still remain under her legacy. So let's all state Fannie Louise Dyson Van.
Dwa.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and having your adoration today.
Yes.
As we continue to do this weekly, things, you know, change. And today, again, based off of Sanet's Sashat Ma'at's idea, an open mic was very, very fitting. Very fitting. I thought that was a wonderful idea to just give a moment, give space for everyone, because adoration is not about the two of us. It's not about, you know, the guests. It's not a show. I always say this is not a show or episode. It is our way to commune and to join hands virtually, and to continue to grow. And like you said, you know, in spite of all the things that we go through individually, we got a moment to take out of our day weekly and just to basically embrace each other and to be able to spiritually hug one another as we're going through and trying to figure our way through this crazy world.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to step off, so in case someone else wants to join on, I'll still be on my phone and Facebook. So Dwa.
Right. See if anybody else. Let's see. Senaton says here in YouTube, the dung beetle appears to be a miracle when it's born. Our ancestors understood the process to get to that point. Yes, they did. They definitely did. Something came to me while St. Curtis was on. I think about all of our concerns. We we're worried about money. We're worried about the controversy in the world. Worried about death. And I wanted to recite a piece, not the entire portion, but just a piece. And this is dialogue with the soul from the Hosea. But it's the response when the writing stated, I had a talk with my soul and wondered if it may answer what I said. And it says, and my soul said to me, cast your complaints aside, my comrade and brother and sister. Make offerings on the sacrificial fire and cling to life, as I have said. Love me, your soul here. Set aside thoughts of death and desire death only when your body joins the earth. Then I will light you on you. I will light a light on you after you have become truly worried, and we shall dwell together forever. To me, that was something because we worry more than we praise in this life. And it sends us to the worry throne way faster than we have time to give gratitude and to be thankful for the blessings that we have. Like St. Garrett came, he gave, adoration for his mother. That's a beautiful thing. But if we just pause sometimes and remember to be thankful for those things that we have, allows us to navigate our way and to stand on those principles a lot easier when controversy is at hand, because we know that controversy is always there. It's always there. Somebody's always getting mistreated. A Black brother, Black sister, Black child, somebody's always getting treated in a way that's unjustful, that is outside of those principles. But we are required to stand on them, even when it is hard.
Dwa R.
All right. I don't know if we have anybody else coming on. We'll give it some time. Senator said his grandma used to say, let worry about itself. And what I understood from that is worries or not, there's still work to do. Absolutely. 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 There's always work to do. That's why those warts they used to call them worry warts. I remember that term.
Listen, there's some scientific basis to that, scientific and medical, was the same, medical, all that health. That is very true. Coming from a medical background, when you stress and stuff like that, your body starts to pour out those toxins and things, and you get warts, you can get hives, all kinds of things. That is very, very true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jay said not the sunroof. Exactly. He said he wanted to borrow that hair. So something, Jay, that's so funny. You said that yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I was riding down the street and somebody's sunroof was up and all you could see. And I thought it was a gray hair. It was just like that. It was an afro, but that thing was flowing in the wind right out the sunroof.
I would like to, if it's okay, for everyone that's here and anyone who is happened to be listening or will watch later on, some of the things we discussed was about, some of the things we need right now, individually and collectively, as far as what's going on. And Senator, sorry, I'm outside, I got ants everywhere. Senator made a comment about being able to call on the certain interview and the principles of that netter, and invoking that energy in our atmosphere, in our spirits, within ourselves. So I am asking everyone, and you can type it in there, in the comments and things. What is it that you feel as though you need right now individually, and also what do we need collectively as a community, as a committed community, as the African community across the diaspora, and then even within the African community here in the United States. Like, write that stuff down. And I'm thinking one thing that we can maybe possibly do for next Sunday is, during our adoration time, we're going to invoke the spirit of the Netaru that will come in, that belongs to that thing. For instance, like, to Shesmet, we need for war. We need that strength of that power. We need the intelligence. Then we're going to give adoration to them. We're going to create a space for those Netaru and call them in for us individually and collectively,
Absolutely.
so that those principles, that energy, we can invoke in ourselves, and we can create that sacred space for it to come in and embody us, permeate around us. That's what we're that's part of what we should be doing. And that's something I was thinking too, but that's other stuff we talked about. That's how spiritual we can do what we need to do to help create change. We need to call in what is needed, and the energy of the principles that we say we walk in and we walk by. So I want to be very intentional in doing that specifically for those things.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. So again, she said, anybody who sees this, please comment. We will keep the comments. You can comment here. You can comment on the Facebook page as well as the YouTube. She's asking, provide some of the Netaru that we can honor and invoke to be able to deal with some of those topics. Like you said, the time says, as the diaspora, I believe that we need the ability to recognize our differences and still be able to do the work together. Exactly. But some of those things, let's get some of those names that we need, some of the Netaru's names that we need.
Not even necessarily Netaru, you don't have to do that part, but what is it that you think specifically that you need right now, or that we need collectively? And we'll do the work. We'll get the Netaru in to be able to do that prayer. But if that's cool too. Put that in there for some of us that may not know specifically every Netaru and every principle that belongs to them. That's fine too. Just what is it that you need? What is it that you feel as though you need right now? Or you think community wise we are in need of?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful, wonderful idea. We'll be excited for that. Absolutely. We'll be looking for those answers. All right. Dua for that. All right. Now, with all the adoration given today, we can open the space for prayer requests if there are any names and prayer intentions that may be shared. May the collective prayers of the community bring healing, strength, comfort, and guidance to all who are in need. So if there's any names that need to be shared in the chat, or any particular prayers that you'd like to put in there. Otherwise, of course, we pray for all, including ourselves anyway. But if there's any things that need particular attention, please feel free to put that information in the chat so that we can address that. I always ask that we keep Himneter Ames and Himneter Waseri on the prayer list, as they are still continuing to be healed and to regain their strength. Also ask that we keep my brother Jay Lacey on the list as well, as he's still healing and regaining his strength. Keep our Sanat Oye, which is Kazi, on the prayer list. She's making, doing some things, having some transitions in her life, and we know that she's gonna be pulled through. And then I see J, you have an upcoming exam. Sing big Tahuti energy your way. Yes. You're gonna pass that exam with flying colors. May Tahuti's wisdom encompass your pen, your paper, and your mind as you go through the exam. You got this, J. You got this. Consider that exam passed. You got this. And of course, I say everybody, but I specifically keep you in prayer too on a daily basis. Sanette, not that you necessarily have to be going through something specific, you know what I mean? But I always pray that your energy is held and kept, you know what I mean? And nothing blocks that, because it's a beautiful thing, and it's definitely healing to me. So I hope that you don't have a lot of vampires sucking that, because I know that I feed off of it.
You know what? Do I for that? It's crazy. I had a conversation with my son about that, but literally last night. But I would say this, then I would have the prayer be that I continue to have the energy that I need to be able to pour out the way that I have been put here to do.
It's so obvious. It's it's great that we have started doing this. You know, this has been wonderful. But if you have not been in her presence, if you ever get the opportunity to be physically in her presence, it don't even have to be a whole bunch of words. You just feel it. You just feel it. You know, so I can't wait to see you.
Yeah. We got the you coming up, so I can't wait to see everyone that's gonna be there. I'm so excited.
Yes. Well, that leads us into announcements. For those of you who are coming to Detroit, it is going to be powerful. We are super excited. Asking everyone who's coming to be sure to bring something, an offering for the altar, and also something we're going to be pouring libations for our Sanette Sandra, who transitioned a couple of years ago. So everyone who's coming, please be sure. And actually, the altar item should be something that you were initiated with. So if you can find one, and you can take it back, you know, we're not going to ask that you leave it there. We're all going to bring something, contribute. So if you can find something to place on the altar that you were initiated with, could be your pendant, could be your Kepra beetle, it could be any of those things. We were given a lot of sacred items. So if you have a relic from initiation, that's what we would love for you to bring. And we also want you to bring something that will be for libation and the memorial for our Sanette Sandra. So that's going to be awesome. I think another announcement is today is the bi-weekly Sunday, which we do have Comedic Ascension at noon this afternoon. Senaton, if you're still there, please let me know if I'm correct. I believe so, because we had Sebait last week. Oh, by the way, if you missed Sebait last week,
don't even say it, because I'm mad because I missed
girl,
it.
Sis,
don't even go there, because I was like, I need to set an alarm.
I can't tell you nothing about it, but it was so much fun. I'm talking about, now granted, I mean, we had a ball. Can I say ass? We had a black ass ball. We really did. The Senaton and Sen Jason did the thing. We played Jeopardy, and it was the bomb. I mean, it was so much fun. I cannot wait. It's not gonna be Jeopardy every time.
Just rub it in that I missed it. Just rub it in. I feel bad enough.
Gosh,
man.
It was
late Sunday. That last Sunday, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I totally forgot."
Yes. He said yes. Comedic Ascension today. Good. Yes. I mean, that was so much fun. I can't wait to the next game show that they do. Even with the studies, it's great. But that was so much fun. I mean, I was in the house like they could actually see me yelling out the answers, like the screen could hear me. It was so much fun. It was fun. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. They they did their thing. That's another announcement. When we are at the reunion, and I'm saying this because that's 2 weeks away. We go the week of the 26th. Tune into the lives, everybody, because adoration is going to be live like it always is, but it's going to be an extremely special adoration service. We are going to be putting things on the altar. We are going to be pouring libations for Sinette Sandra, and it's going to be everybody who's there included in adoration. So it's going to be wonderful. We'll also, Sin Natan and Sin Jason is going to be doing a Sebayit that evening. So it should be pretty fun because it's going to be live to include all of us that's there. So those of you who can't make it, you will be able to enjoy and join into the entertainment that you'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Good.
Right. You want to close that out?
Yeah, do the balance of the scales. Before we close, let us reflect on a few things. When was the last time I spoke from my heart? What gifts do I have to offer my community? That's a good one. How can my words uplift others? How can I use my voice in service to my eye? Oh man, this is good. We need to start writing these in here and giving them out. Put them in the chat for everybody. Y'all need to these are great reflections on for sure. Remembering, guys, that every voice matters, every sincere offering matters, every act of adoration strengthens our community. Dua to my aunt, dua to the Dwa R Hrw, dua to Aku, dua to every member of this community who offer words of offer words from their hearts today. May our voices continue to rise in adoration. May our fellowship continue to grow. Yes, most definitely. May our devotion continue to deepen. May our lives reflect my art in word, thought, and deed. Do I say? Aunt Wajab Zaneb, do I my aunt? Do I Netaru? Do I Inaku? Do I Neter?
Do I? And I will put those questions though, because you're right. Those are great ones. And I'll start doing that every week. The reflection questions. I'll put them
Yes,
in.
the reflection questions are really awesome. And these are great things for people to be able to use on our Kefir walk to help us see where we are and where we need to go for sure. When was the last time you spoke from your heart? Is it hard for you to speak from your heart? What gifts do you offer to your community? What is your purpose? And in case Swahili, what is your need? What is your purpose? Why are you here? What are you giving to our community? How can my words uplift others? Everybody's words should uplift others. Sometimes we don't even understand. Sometimes somebody's speaking how much that little thing that you think is nothing is something really big for somebody else, and very impactful for them. Oh goodness, how can I use my voice in service to my eye? That's a deep one. There's some sitting down, thinking, meditative type of question right there.
And you know something, as we put those in we'll put those every week from now on in the chat. And it's not something that you necessarily have to share with us, but you can if you want to. But put that journal on your altar and get up in your altar and answer those questions for yourself and weigh yourself. And we're not the keepers of the scales and tell you what the right way is to be able to do that, but reflect and like she said, use that as a part of your Kepler process, and just see where you stand and what your purpose is. We all have a voice, we all have a purpose, and we all have something that we can contribute to Ma'at. So
do I? And also, like I said before we close, and even with our purpose, what our need is understanding that a lot of us feel like we have to be in a certain space to be to make an impact or to be useful. Understanding that us from the African diaspora, we are communal people, and everybody needs something. The word Ubuntu, I am because you are. It's just like your hand. We need every piece of it. So if your purpose is to give words of encouragement, if your purpose is to raise great kids, you all have a purpose. Everyone is not meant to be seen by millions of people. That doesn't mean you don't make a difference. Most things happen from the grassroots people doing things that we don't know their names. We don't know the names of that mother and that elder that in that community from where I come from in Jersey or Virginia or Cleveland or Ohio, Detroit, that kept that community together, right? Took care of them kids, came back in there and made sure that that street that she lived on was no foolishness going on there. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has a purpose, and just because we don't know the names of them, or everyone may not know my name, I ain't in a book somewhere from 50 years from now or whatever the case may be. We still have those bricks that we lay.
That's right.
In the foundation and in the building of this house, for our legacy here.
Right. That's
Just
right.
make sure that you do whatever that is, and
And
understand that it's all important. Every
that's,
last piece of it.
that's right. That's right. You are absolutely right. It is equally important as the one seen, like you said, seen by many or seen by none. The role is still equally important. So step into whatever it is for yourself, and
Exactly.
and let it become who you are, because it is you.
Exactly.
It's an automatic, it's a innate gift that you already have. You know what I mean? So sharpen that tool, and let's do our work. Do the work
So,
that we're supposed to do. Play our parts appropriately. That is how we restore some balance as well.
yes.
All right, everyone. Well, Shimmy Ma'at, until next week. It's
Shimmy
been
Ma'at,
real,
Shimmy
as always.
Ma'at.
Always. Much more to you all.